Brian here at the Edge Pro, talking on our rub block series here, and we've got another video. Wanted to talk about warp and what warp is and what it isn't. So a lot of people, when they envision warp on a clipper blade, a lot of people are kind of thinking more of a potato chip. And so they're thinking about a blade, something like this. If we sight down this blade and we look at this blade, it is warped. If we take this blade and we lay it on a straight edge, something like this, we can see that blade rocks back and forth, kind of looks like a potato chip trying to lay on a flat surface there, sort of thing. Obviously, in the grand scheme of things, that would be considered warp. But warping in terms of sharpening a clipper blade really isn't that way. Everything we talk about is a bit microscopic. And so this type of warp, a lot of people sort of envision that in the use process that blade would possibly get overheated. Maybe there wasn't enough oil used, or it was just used a long time, got overheated and warped. And so when that blade is warped, then some sharpeners feel like you're not going to be able to fix that. And maybe that is the case. However, when we talk about warp from a sharpening perspective, we're talking about a different scale and a different sort of thing that's going on in the process. So if we take this crazy example here, and if we did have a blade that was literally warped like that, we would approach sharpening that blade in the same way that we would sharpen all other blades. And so we would literally sharpen out that warp. And so if we look down this blade, we can see if we sight it, that's nice and straight. If we lay that on the straight edge, we can see now it's actually flat. The problem is that if the blade were warped in that much, we can see here from looking at the bottom side of the blade, we can see that the teeth are gone on one corner. So we would literally sharpen through that warp and remove the warp, but now we've removed too much blade because there was too much warp there. So at the end of the day, that sort of warp, whether or not it exists or not, is just typical wear. That's normal wear and tear for a blade. Again, microscopic level, this is an extreme example so that we can visualize that a little bit better. So this particular blade here, this is a good example of a blade that just has normal wear. It has some discoloration, but that wear, maybe it's warp, maybe it's just literal rubbing wear. One way or another, that surface is not perfect anymore. And so when we sharpen, we need to clean that surface up. We need to remove whatever damage is there, whether or not it is warp or not. So here I have a blade that has been sharpened, and we can see we've got fresh scratches on both the front and back rail, but we're still missing a spot on this particular blade. And so we haven't sharpened far enough past the damage that was there. Again, it doesn't really matter why that damage was there or what caused that damage. It could be normal wear and tear, it could be misuse, abuse, anything like that. We sharpen a blade until we get a fresh surface. And so this blade just needs to be sharpened a little bit further. And if we get to the point, that extreme example of one that was crazily warped, well beyond what anything would normally ever be, and if we sharpened past that warp, the blade would now be worn out. There's no more metal left there, there's no teeth left on that blade to use. So that's pretty normal. Here's another example. Yet again, if we look at this blade, this one had a black coating, so it's a little easier to see some sort of things. So we have fresh sharpening up here on the front rail, a little bit on the back rail, but we still have a lot of black in the back area. It's not all the way across. We still have some teeth on the corner and even part of a tooth over here. Again, microscopically, maybe this blade is warped, maybe it's worn, maybe it's both. But when we're sharpening, we're bringing up a fresh surface. So whether or not we are talking about a comb or a cutter on any clipper blade, when we're sharpening, we are sharpening and producing fresh scratches, fresh abrasive scratches on both the front and the back rail of both the comb and the cutter. And so you can see that here. These blades have been sharpened, and we see fresh abrasive scratches. We don't see any wear left on that blade. And so at this point, whether or not this blade quote unquote was warped or not to begin with, it is no longer warped. It's now the surface that's left off of our sharpening plate and what we've done in terms of sharpening. And so it doesn't matter how it started, this is what it is now. And as long as I'm seeing these fresh surfaces and all, then I've done my job in terms of sharpening. But that gets into what we actually are talking about when we use the term warp and sharpening, because even though I've got fresh abrasive scratches on this blade, in my sharpening process, it's possible that I have warped this blade. So I've got a couple of examples of that. This particular blade, this is what's called a blocking blade. You may or may not be familiar with this style. It's much like a standard detachable blade. It is a detachable blade. However, it does have this arc shape to it. And so we notice that if we use our rub block and we actually rub this blade on here to get a pattern, and we look at that pattern, even though the blade is a little wider and it's a little curved to the top, it follows that crescent. The crescent, in this case, the blade itself is crescent shaped. And so we actually see that crescent following that shape, as opposed to a standard blade that was straight across the top and the crescent down below it. But we can see that that crescent follows all the way across. Ignore the broken tooth. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about here. But that crescent follows all the way across, except if we notice this one tooth over here that's missing that rub. It's that one tooth. And so what happens in the sharpening process sometimes is that heat, as we're sharpening, we think about it kind of like our hand. And so if you think about your hand like a clipper blade running across that abrasive, and each one of your fingers is a tooth. As we heat that blade up, sometimes based on that metal and the heat that's applied, one of those teeth, because metal moves when it gets warm, will typically droop. And so imagine again, like our hand working across the abrasive, and all of a sudden one tooth droops, and so it droops down below. But our abrasive removes everything that's down below, and so it removes part of that abrasive, or part of that tooth with the abrasive. We work across the abrasive, then we pick the blade up. And the amount of time that it takes us to pick the blade up, inspect it, see if we've sharpened, and then rub the blade, that blade, which is now shorter than the rest, will actually raise back up. So it started flat, it drooped down as it heated up, and as it cooled off, it actually went back up. And when it went back up, well, now it's had this material removed on the bottom that all the other teeth don't. And so when we rub that blade, like in this example, we see that one tooth that doesn't have that rub. And so it's like we've rubbed this across the plate and all of my fingers have touched it except this one. That's what we're talking about in terms of warp. And so generally speaking, when we see warp on a clipper blade because of sharpening, we're talking about one single tooth. We do see a crescent. Everything else looks correct in our rub, but we notice one tooth that doesn't fit that pattern. One tooth that just doesn't sort of exist there. That tells us that we've got warp going on. I've got another example here. This is a fade style blade, but this particular blade, now I would argue the crescent on this, if we look at that closely, the crescent isn't perfect, but it is still a crescent. At the end of the day, as long as it is a crescent, we're on the right track. We've got something serviceable. This one actually has two teeth. They're not necessarily together, but we do have two individual teeth that don't follow that pattern. And so once again, that's an indication of a warp. Those two teeth got ground off a little extra. So if we discover warp on our clipper blade in sharpening, then what we need to do is we need to remove all of the teeth that have that rub. Those teeth are longer than the one that doesn't have the rub. And so we need to remove material from all of those teeth without heating the blade up anymore. And so in practice, what this means is as we make passes across our abrasive, we're going to need to spend less time on that abrasive, so we're generating less heat. So this can be less passes. It can be things what we call kissing passes, where we're just coming down to pressure on the abrasive and then lifting back up instead of moving back and forth. Slowing the machine down can be beneficial because the slower the machine goes, the less heat that's going to be generated. And ultimately, in terms of everything, always making sure that we have good, fresh abrasive. We're obviously going to be generating a lot of heat if we have dull, spent abrasive trying to abrade, but isn't doing its job well. So hopefully that helps to clarify what we're talking about in terms of warp. Hopefully that's helpful to you in sharpening process and in using your rub block to determine what's going on with that blade. And ultimately, we're just trying to figure out, have we done our job correctly at the sharpening plate with the rub block? That tells us if we've done our job correctly. And if we've done our job correctly there, then we know we're going to have a blade that's going to work once we put it together and go to use it. So if you like this content, please go ahead and like, subscribe, follow, do all those sorts of things. That way others can see this type of content. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact us with those. I'm happy to try to help you wherever we can, and we'll see you on the next one.